Hi, everybody. It's Jeff Fitzpatrick. It's not Monday, it is Saturday. Saturday, the 28th of June, 2025. Monday's going to be really busy. It's the end of the month, but it's also the end of the year that changed the trading system in. So I'm going to be doing a lot of dancing about finding out how things have turned out. So off we go. I sell puts and buy high quality, great value stocks with low stock buying power usage and income creating potential. That's what we're aiming to do. So what's happening? As usual, we're going to look at the market, the stock picks that I've got, and a couple of things that I'm changing around the clubs. So first of all, the market, and whoa, look at this. Uh, we have now exceeded the all-time high. We did that a day or two ago, and the pundits are saying that things look pretty good to continue. So we're in a sort of good time here. However, really, of course, uh, that doesn't actually help me to get into stocks at good prices. So on the one hand, I want the stuff that we're already in to have these high prices. On the other hand, I want things to have low prices so I can get in. So we do need some changes up and down. It's all good stuff. I don't mind which way it goes. And the clubs. As usual, I've got some changes. I'm making improvements and tweaking the system just about every day or every week. This week, I've got two for you. First of all, I've introduced a requirement for a total return that's price appreciation plus dividends have been positive if you'd owned the stock over the last 3 years. I may go on and change that in the future, but I'm starting with that 3 years. I'll show you where I get it from in a moment. And then I'm also introducing a preference, but it's not a red flag situation, to get stocks that are in the top 8 sectors ready for growth that are also in the top 50% of industries. Let's have a look. So this comes straight from the web page of our value line, and you can see it's for Allinson Transmission. And they're giving us also their competitors, Borg Warner, etc. And these are the total percentage returns if you'd owned the stock for these periods. So if you'd had this for 5 years, you'd be looking at 171.6%, 3 years, 156.3%, and a year, 23.8%. And of course, that's without any premiums that we've got along the way for selling puts or selling calls. So that's what I'm using. That's where I'm getting it from. Here are the top sectors. These come from Zacks. Each of these, you can see from the plus sign at the side, is broken down into further subsectors. The very top one, just to let you know, is within aerospace. There are 54 companies within it, but the very, very top sector within that or subsector is avionics. So that's the electronics that go into aircraft. That's where we're at. So that's what I'm checking it against. Perhaps if this is great stuff to you, you should be joining my course, and you can still do it. More about that in a little while. So this week's picks. Well, first of all, a new feature for you. I've got Dud of the Week, and my dud for this week is AEO. It'll be interesting to see if that comes up as a pick on Sunday night or in any of the picks that are put forward by other senior guys in the operation. So looking around the page here, you can see some of the reasons why I have it as dud of the week. Its total return doesn't matter whether it take 5 years, minus 12.5%, 3 years, minus 12.4%, or 1 year, minus 52.2%. That company is not giving a return and hasn't for a long time. Next, underneath that, you can see AEO, it's a retail stock. It's got a 4x4 score of 31 for and 48. So that would go onto the list that we normally have each week, but whew, would you really want to touch it? In the meantime, Zacks rated as a 5, a strong sell. it is also in the bottom 22% of our industries. Up in the top right, we can see that the business is stagnant on sales and actually uh, losing. That's not necessarily losing money, but it's getting reducing profits. Earnings drive prices, and therefore this is being driven down. And then the value line, even value line, have this as a timeliness of 4. I'm not touching it at all. But this week's picks, so what am I touching at all? And this is how I check them. This is just the panel that I use. This is also constantly changing. And if you want to understand how this works, and it's really, really easy to do, then you need to join my course. All of the areas that are in this sort of buff color, they're automatically generated. So all the rest is just inputting these bits of information and data. It's really easy, but it brings out a fantastic result. And here are my picks for the week. ALSN, CNC, OLED, and NVO. So you can see the expiration dates. I've got them all for the third Friday in August. The strike prices, there's a bit of a range there, so some might suit slightly smaller accounts at least. The premiums, they might not look fantastic, but by the time I've done a lot of contracts, they certainly will be. And then you can see the stock buying power per contract. So that will obviously multiply up when you put the number of contracts in that we want. I can see that they're all 25% users of maintenance requirement, and we've got reasonable premiums as a percentage of the strike prices. We've got a bit of headroom here and there, apart from 34 cents on ALSN. What that means is the strike price and the actual price, there is 34 cents difference. So the actual price is 34 cents lower than the strike price. All the others are higher. So we've got the total headroom for a contract. Then we got the total income, total commitment to spend money on the shares, and I've got the return on investment, that's a premium divided by the stock buying power used. And then I've annualized it. This is the figure I'm after. The red flag comes into play if this figure is less than 100%. But we've got 140, 128, 144, and 157. We are good to go. And they're my picks for the week. So if you want to learn how to do this yourself and even just to understand what I'm doing, you need to come and join the course. It's just £250. You should make that back on one trade. We've got the last live session next week. That will be on Thursday coming at 3 p.m. and repeated at 6:30 p.m. But everything else, all 10 weeks, will then be on the web page. We can go back through them, and there's a lot of additional materials in there. Spreadsheet templates, for example, additional video material, and so on. The whole course covers exactly what I do. It is how I'm beating the world's best traders. That's no exaggeration. We are beating the world's best traders. And you get permanent access, and there's a WhatsApp group you can join. You can ask questions and so on in there. And if you visit myinvestmentclub.co.uk, you can actually watch the first part of the course. You can see the first video and see what it's like. And if you're not already in it, please join my Facebook group, The Extraordinary Stock Trading System. And if you're not in the club, not in one of my clubs at least, come and have a look at myinvestmentclub.co.uk, where you can join one of the several clubs. You can put in very little. You can put like £100 a month in. You can put 100,000 in. You can put in whatever you like, basically. And I don't get excited if people have to miss months because they've got other things going in their lives. It's very relaxed. We have two types of club: capital growth and income plus capital growth. I can guide you through these if you want to know more about them. And that's about it for this week. Short and sweet. Have a good week.